Hello, it's Sam here with my journey through bowel cancer. And things are about to change quite rapidly for me now because D-Day is about to arrive. That's tomorrow when the chemotherapy process starts. And it's actually been quite a hectic couple of weeks. I've had the CT scan result. Well, I didn't actually get the result. The result of my last CT scan unfortunately came back inconclusive, and I've had to go off and have a PET scan. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit more about that in a second, but I just wanted to give a little bit of background as to why that is and what's going on, as much as I can possibly tell you, really. So, as I said, the CT scan, that's the second CT scan that I had about 2 weeks ago, came back inconclusive. They reckon that there's some thickening around my peritoneum, which is like the membrane which is outside of the abdomen, and they're a little bit concerned that there might be some cancer there. So they asked me to go for a PET scan. Now, a PET scan, I've learned a lot over the last week. A PET scan is a very modern, up-to-date type of scanning, very similar to a CT scan. And I was invited last Friday to go to the hospital on Saturday for this radioactive PET scan. And let's see how I got on there. So here I am on my next episode of Journey Through Cancer from the CRIC Centre down at the Churchill Hospital in Oxford, where I'm about to have a PET scan. Now, this PET scan is a bit like a CT scan, but they're going to inject me with a tracer, which is kind of radioactive. It's a sugar-based tracer. So I'm here, I've just arrived, and hopefully I'll be meeting someone in a second who's going to talk me through the process. But that's it for me for now. So I've just seen the PET scan technicians, and they've weighed me. I've actually put on an extra kilo, so I'm 85 kilos now, which isn't surprising because I've been drinking quite a little bit of Guinness to try and get my iron levels up, and that's had the effect of putting on a bit of extra body weight there, which is probably going to come in handy later on. So I've seen the technicians, and they've introduced the radioactive fluid. God, that sounds mental, doesn't it? Radioactive fluid to my body. So it's actually quite a small amount that they put in. It's actually under 0.5 or 0.05 milligrams. In fact, I think it's 367 mbq, and it's a radioactive shot basically, and which has got sugar in it, glucose. And the idea is that then will go into the body, and then in an hour and a half's time, I'm going to have a scan in this PET scan. And the idea with the PET scan is it will pick up any cells that are absorbing the glucose or using the glucose, and it will basically shine up like a Christmas tree. That's my understanding anyway. Maybe a little bit wrong with the detail there, but for the time being, I'm in this tiny little room. Let me just show you if I can. Let me just turn that around. It's just a tiny room. I've got a chair there, some water, and I've just got to sit here now. Just got to sit here now for an hour and a half and wait for the scan to happen. And then when the scan happens, it's a bit like a CT scan. It's a tunnel. I'm going to go inside that tunnel, and I think it's going to be a bit longer than a normal CT scan. But the idea now is that I'm just going to have to chill out and relax for an hour and a half. I've got my laptop, got my tablet, got my phone, so I'm sure I'll find plenty of things to do with my time. But that's it for now, and I'll do a little update after the scan. Okay, well, that's all done now. I've had my PET scan. I've just been in the little tunnel. It's a bit like a CT scan actually, but you do spend a lot more time in there. Spent about 25 minutes. As I said, they've injected me with this serum, this radioactive serum. I hope there wasn't a spider in there. I might get some superhero powers from that. Anyway, the radioactive serum was injected with me with the sugar in it, and the idea is that the glucose in that sugar goes into the cancer cells, any cancer cells that are still in the body. Hopefully there's not going to be too many of those, and it lights up like a Christmas tree, and it really helps with the treatment plan going forward. Look at the radioactive van just behind me. That's amazing, isn't it? Now the thing is though, now I'm a little bit radioactive, so I've got to stay away from pregnant people, pregnant ladies, and unfortunately I'm going to have to stay away from my daughter, and she's not going to really understand that too much. But it's only going to be for a few hours, and I suppose if you've got a Geiger counter out and you kind of put it over the body there, it would be clicking away. But I'm assured that the radioactive dose is so low that it doesn't, it's not dangerous at all or anything like that. So that's my outing today, this Saturday, and meant that I had to change a few plans, but we're all done. It's a completely painless experience. I'm really glad that we've got that out of the way. I hate having the cannula in the arm, and for example, but it's great that it's done now, and I'll get the results in a few days and can move on to the next stage of the journey. And that next stage of the journey is the chemotherapy, and I'm really not looking forward to that because that's going to be difficult, I'm sure. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, and I'll see you on the next video.